Yo, what is up, guys? Today we'd like to talk about time. Essentially, I've got an issue because I feel like I'm just not dedicating it enough. It sometimes just happens that it feels like I'm working at something random that just doesn't contribute to where I want to get to, and it feels like I've got infinite time sometimes, even though I don't, and that just leads to being unorganized and just things leading into chaos. And yeah, I've made a little drawing here just to clarify what I'm talking about here. Essentially, when I want to do something by myself, I'm just always like, I might do it as well later. Because yeah, right now I can focus on something else. I can do just something that I enjoy or I think that is interesting right now. I'm just going with the mood, I'm going with the vibe. This is like when you do something for yourself. And when then there's someone else relying on it, suddenly you have insane pressure. Okay, wait a minute. Alright, back at it. We did talk about the insane pressure that is getting built up when you were working for someone. And it's not really that the pressure is coming instantly, that you're like, if you've got this amount of time, it's not like you have the pressure all the time. In the beginning, it's like you have a chill phase. Like when we call it, this is like pressure. And then we have like this pill for chill. Then like this phase is gonna enter first, and then later on you're gonna have the pressure. It's gonna be getting crunch essentially. And I hate that. I really hate that. But it just works. At least you get something done. At this point, you get done. You have something. You have a state of done, even though maybe not as good as if the pressure was like all of the time here. But you got something done, and that's something we want to achieve. We want to have, something we can then make a decision off of. Because when you've got something done, we have ability to decide based on results, and that's like where we want to get to. So yeah, that's something I just wanted to introduce into myself, because if I can do this for myself, if I can, say like, oh my god, it's like 8 p.m. and I've said to myself, I want to get this done, and it has been planned accordingly, then I'm actually getting it done, and I've got the pressure to make it happen and not get myself into this temptation to just do it later. And that's where we want to get to. So this is what want to say. It's like I just want to clarify that there is no tomorrow. I need just insane amount of urgency in order to just get more results, get more decisions, because we want to increase the amount of decisions. When I have like decisions every single day, every single day, then when you like summarize what you have been doing today, you want to have like the ability to just decide and steer yourself into a different direction, or into the direction you want to go, in order to achieve the goal at the end of the day. So yeah, what I've been writing down over here is like the process of like you having an distraction, like I just call it distraction number one, and it's like getting introduced here. And that's like happening here, and then you will, at least for me, how it's like now, like I got time. Like the deadline is so far, it's so far behind. Why should I bother? I've got time. It's just when you just take a look at this, it's I've got time. A lot of it. That's like what is in the back of your mind. Your mind is like thinking like this. This is like what your mind is. Just always inferring when it thinks about how much capacity we got for tackling this distraction, and then we would just work on it, and eventually you will have another distraction, another one, and so on, and they would just come again, and they would just take up time. There is nothing left for working on the thing, and then the deadline will arrive, and suddenly you're like, shit, no time. And this is when the crunch is happening. The crunch zone. And you will actually be productive here. And you will get stuff done. And that's where, I just want to be capable of just stretching this out. I just want to make it happen that I can stretch it out over a long period. And then have time later on for the distraction to work on it, to do stuff with it, and to just do it in a clean, with a clean mind. That's like what we want to be about. So the perfect scenario then to get all of this fixed, in my opinion, because we also just sometimes do not have the ability to just delay the distraction and do it whenever, is to make it like this. So asking ourselves, can I complete it, and is it life-threatening? If it's life-threatening, obviously you need to just work on it, you need to do it, and so you need to dedicate time to it, so you have got no option there anyways. But yeah, what's then actually really important, which would allow you to do what I've just said of putting it behind the deadline, is asking yourself, can I complete it? So and when you can't complete it, you might even want to do it, because yeah, it just works with your system, and you make a clear definition of what is done, what is like the completion, how does the state look like, and then actually also make sure to complete it. And when you have completed it, your mind, because your mind will be like, it's not like when you say, okay, I'm not going to work with the distraction, your mind will still have this distraction in it. It will still always have it when we think of this as our brain. And it just will be, when you think of this as the brain memory, essentially, or capacity, memory capacity, it just will always be in there. And we don't have that much time for work, for completing the thing that we were actually supposed to be doing. And yeah, the cool thing about defining the done state is that when we can just complete it, and when it's completed, it will essentially just shrink so far in this space that it occupies in our brain, and then we will look like this, and your brain will have a lot more capacity for work, and that's the state we want to get to. We can do clean work that is not crunched, where we do not have to make so many sacrifices when it comes to quality, and yeah, it will just feel awesome to work. It will feel like a clean process. So work without sacrifice. That's where we want to get to. And then when we are at the state of having actually completed the thing here, then we can again think about if the distraction is actually worth it, and if there's like actually a reason to work on it. And may be that the distraction is not even existent, or like it's just wasn't worth it, or if you figured out that there was no reason to care about it anyways, so it might just await essentially. So yeah, that's how I think about this. Now I thought about my perfect day, essentially, how it's supposed to look like. And essentially you would have then just 2 practices. The day is pretty simple. I don't want to do so much planning, because if you plan so much time, it will also take a lot of time, like time of your day. And then we don't just you make a calendar, it's like perfect calendar, and you have everything scheduled out, and you think, okay, I'm so ready for the day, and everything has been like it's supposed to work. And then you've got like one thing that is like really hard to work on, and it takes up more time than you think, and then suddenly it cuts into some other parts of your schedule, and then essentially your day will get really messed up, and you cannot follow your schedule, because you're here, and you're done with like thing number 1, and thing number 2 wasn't even completed, and you're like, what am I supposed to do now? And you would always have to like check in with your calendar, like, have you completed this? So your calendar should always be aware of that, and you would always have to check in and tell him that, yeah, I got to complete it. No, did not complete it. This is stuff we cannot give into the context of the calendar. The calendar is like not aware of that, and therefore it just doesn't adapt to you. So you need to find a simpler system, a system where you do not have to think about this stuff that much. And the ideal day, therefore, for me, is just start the day by internalizing your goals, internalizing the tasks that you were setting yourself up to. And make sure that it is clear. It is quite clear. And it's not supposed to be like an insanely detailed list. Like only 3 things. 3 things, like only 3 things I would say. 3 big things like that are like somewhat detailed. You have to, you need some kind of way of describing how how it's supposed to be looking like. How is the state of done being defined? And when you've got these things now figured out, then you can enter the day and then just work on the goals. And you know, as I've already covered over there, limit distractions. Just try to work on the goals, and if they're coming up, try to you know, compress them, try to limit them. They should not be capable of inflicting with your constant ambition of achieving the goals, and therefore you just, you know, need to limit them as much as possible. And then when the day is done, you need to be reflecting, and what you're doing is checking if the goals were achieved. This is like number 1 thing, and then the second one is actually the enjoyable part. I like this part because, you know, this is where you can then actually see the future, and you essentially then are in a position where you can make decisions. And yeah, you see you did that, and it turned out to be like this, and you expected it to be otherwise, but you've got your knowledge that it works like this, and therefore you can make a new decision, and it will, you know, everything is then just really obvious and clean, and therefore I think this is the most enjoyable part. So end of the day, you reflect on it, and ideally you even make a little list of things you would then do the next day. But it's just important that you reflect on it, and that you just give yourself the room, the reminder that, yeah, we are moving into this direction, and it feels like we are progressing. And this is like the motivation that you need in order to go about the next day with as much elan as possible, as much you know, force and power as possible. And yeah, that I think would wrap up the day. This is how it's supposed to look like, in my opinion. And it just doesn't for me right now, and that's why I wanted to make this video. I just wanted to do it myself, try to figure out if I can make it happen. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.